Hi, this is Nate with Keysoft Solutions. Today I want to go over some more features of schedule editing. In a previous video called Editing Schedule Contents, we spoke about what columns, what specification notes you want to include, and how to readjust the ordering, and where things fall within the schedule. In this video, I want to speak a little bit more about the formatting, because that's important to a lot of firms as well, to use a custom text style, different spacings, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to double click on this plant list, and what I'm going to do is change it from this custom to one of our standard ones. And in the standard list, these columns adjust dynamically. The width of the columns adjust based on the information we put in there. So for example, shrubs, the species column is wider because of this prunus that has a long name. Some of our clients prefer to have more of a fixed width, and that's something I have achieved in this drawing, or this schedule. So if I go back to this modify schedule dialog by double clicking on the schedule, click on the ellipsis to enter the style manager. Down here towards the bottom is where we can set some of these custom attributes. If you'd like to see a box, this outline around all the cells, this is where you'd make that change. Background color, border color. These are general schedule properties, this tab, so it's going to apply to the entire schedule. Set cell margin, that's the offset above, below, left, and right of the text boxes. Default cell properties, again, this is going to apply to the entire schedule. You can select the text style you like based on any text style that's currently in the drawing. Color, height. By default, you see the variable width feature here. That's what causes it to adjust to the length of the specific specification attribute. But if you look at selected cell properties, so for example, if I click on key, which is actually custom as well, these column headers have been changed from the default KeySCAPE, which would be abbreviation, number, name, common name, height. This particular customer wanted to see abbreviation called key. So you can see here I was able to change that header. You can change all the headers one by one to whatever you would like. If I then go to selected cell properties, you can see I've done a fixed cell width of 4. And I've done that in all of column 1's specifications. So all the key or abbreviation attributes, I've given it a width of 4. Quantity was also 4. Botanical name was 25. If you do it this way, you're going to have to kind of either you plan it out very detailed beforehand, or kind of do a trial and error method to figure out what width is correct. Because if you do insert a specimen that has a very long botanical name or scientific name, it's going to it could overlap the adjacent column. Another feature I would like to go over is inserting groups. So if you're using a Keysoft standard style, you can see we have trees, shrubs, herbaceous, climbers, conifers, wildflowers, all these different categories. These are not going to appear in your schedule unless you specify material in that category. In this other list I started from scratch, it only has 3 categories. And those 3 categories are just the deciduous trees, the evergreen trees, shrubs, and grasses, which is in here incorrectly, so I'm going to delete that one out. So say I wanted to specify a perennial. If I did that in the drawing, it wouldn't even show up in the schedule at all. So we need to add that group. Again, if you're using a default style, you don't have to worry about this, but this is comes into the, if you get into heavier customization. So I'm going to copy this existing one because I want it to look exactly the same as the shrubs category, but with a different header, and I want it to pull from the right database. So we'll call this Perennials. And here, this group by specification, this is where it's going to pull that information from. So right now it's saying it's pulling in shrubs. We want it to pull in perennials. So modify this to say perennials, accept, and now it's perennials. Apply, close, OK. Now if I insert a perennial, so let's say I add a planting area. Let's just draw a really quick area. And we specify a perennial. Let's just pick one randomly. And there we go. This is a big area. All right. So that's 643 of this species, and you can see it populated down here underneath the shrubs where I told it to. If I hadn't added that group, it would still be blank. But if you're using a default style, those are already included.